Hi everyone, I'm Virginia Killmore and welcome to my studio. Today is Case a Card Monday and I love how happy this little card is. It's so cute. Casing means you're going to copy or share something that you've seen out on the internet and I'm going to put my own spin on it. Today's card is brought to by Heidi Collins and I think it's just adorable, so let's get started. So isn't this just a fun, happy card? I just think it's so adorable. I saw this out on the internet on Heidi Collins's website, and I thought I just had to share it. Now, she did it in a vertical manner, but she used very similar colors and the same stamp set. A couple things are different, but not a lot. So today's card I'm going to call a copied card. Very little has changed on this card. So we're going to start out with a piece of 8.5 by 5.5 cardstock that we scored at 4 1/4, and I don't know what I did with my bone folder. Oh, here it is. So I always like to use that to really crisp up the edge. And then we are going to use the painted texture folder, embossing folder, which I've already done just so that it speeds things along a little bit. I like to make my presentations not too lengthy. I think that some people just take so long, so I try to make it quick so that you can get right started, because for me the important thing is that you're out there making cards daily. And this cardstock can go on here too. Now you notice the big hole in there. Do you know what that's all about? I love to take a little section out of a card to use instead of getting cardstock and using a whole piece. Oh my goodness, all week long. I'm so sorry. Those are sneezes, but my husband calls them cough sneezes. So this is unusual. We are going to stamp on here, but first we're going to stamp here and cut out our flower. You see how I have the flower? That's done on with basic white cardstock. And I've already stamped some of the leaves, so we just need to stamp the flower. And I'm going to do that in Poppy Parade. I'm using Garden Green and Poppy Parade today, just so that you'll know. I always have a list right here, and I always post that afterwards. So I'm going to place that on there. And at the same time, I'm going to do the little center. I might as well get that done. Oh, you can see my little stash of leaves that I did earlier. I might not need all these leaves, but I wanted to show you how to cut them. So because my space is small, I'm going to close everything up. We'll do the other stamping in a second. But we're going to go ahead and cut them. Now, when you buy the set, which is called Pretty Perennials, you can buy just the stamp set, or you can buy the cutters with it, and that's what I did. And I love it because this set of cutters comes with 2 sets of leaves, because you do need more than one leaf for everything that you cut. So it's so nice because I've got 2 cutters and I can cut 2 leaves out at a time. The only hard part now is figuring out where that goes, and I think I figured it out. The nice thing about the bundle is you're really close to a celebration item. You might need some glue or something to get you there, and it's a great deal, and we only have 2 more weeks of celebration, so I wanted to make sure you knew what your options were. So this is the little mini cutter, and I love it for doing what we do here because you can see what I'm doing. It's not so overpowering, and it's a perfect size for running through the machine. The only thing I don't have yet is their magnetic plate, which I sort of wished I had, but I haven't ordered it. Okay, the hardest part is just getting it to stay in place when you go to cut it. I love how tiny it is. It doesn't take up a lot of space. And those cracking sounds that must sound terrible to you are just normal wear and tear with this machine. That is just what happens. It cracks, it groans. It must not like all the work that it's doing. And so now I've got my leaves and my flowers cut. And I can set those aside. And it's so easy if you put a magnetic sheet on the inside of your stamp set. You can just put this away like that. Isn't that nice? I'm going to put this one over here. I think that's where it went. So I love these magnetic sheets. If you order the bundle today, I'll send you a magnetic sheet for the inside of your case of that set, if you order that bundle today. So, okay. So now all we have to do is do the front of this card. And I need to do it in such a way that I don't make a mess of my surface. So I'm going to put a piece of old paper down because I'm going to stamp right along the top. So I'm going to start with my Poppy Parade first and my flower. And I'm going to stamp it only 3 times, but I want it sort of off the page because I have to have room for happy. And I'll tell you, I struggled a little bit after I made it the first time fitting happy in there. So I'm making sure to leave enough space. I think I'll put happy in next before I put leaves. And then that way I can sort of stay away from it. I love the wording with this. And there's so many choices of what you can add. I obviously picked happy birthday, but it could be happy mail, happy for you, you make me happy, sending lots of happy. It's just such a cute idea that you can take one word as your focal point and then use that for your sentiment. And it's beautiful calligraphy. I'm going to pull these leaves down here before I forget I have them. So now I am going to add my birthday. This is the moment of truth. Let's see if I can get it straight and get it where I want it. Did well. Sometimes I'm just lucky. I guess I stamp a lot. So now I'm just going to fill in spots with my leaves. I'm not going to worry too much if it's not perfect. The whole idea is to just fill in areas and give it some little extra pizzazz. I think that's probably enough. Oh, I want to do my centers. Okay, so we are done. Now we get to put our card together. Today's card is pretty quick. It's so helpful when you have someone else's design to work off of. Now, her card was a vertical card, but I kind of like it sideways this way. It works really nicely. And I'm going to go ahead and glue this right on here and then add my flower. I'm going to dimensional my flower. That means I'm going to take these little sticky, puffy things that I have. These are dimensionals. And I'm on my last legs with this one, so I'm going to take a big one for the center. But I like to use these little pieces as well. And then I'm going to glue the leaves down underneath. So I need to leave room for that bow. I think I made it a little tight there, but now I'm just going to glue in some leaves in different spots, and I can just do that by tucking it up underneath. I love that I can cut 2 leaves at once with this. That was really creative of Stampin' Up! To think of that. Must be somebody put it in the sandbox and told them. Okay, one more. I'm going to put one more here. I may not really need it, but I'm going to do it anyways. So the last thing that's left to do is to embellish. I have a bow, which I haven't made, and I'm going to show you my Bow Easy because you always ask me to show it to you again. And the Bow Easy works like this. You're going to use this distance to make the width of your bow. So I take it and wrap it around once, put it through there. If you ever want to order one, I have them here, but you can also order online. The gentleman who makes them actually sells some that I bought from his wife many years ago. She passed away. I thought it was so sad. But he still sells them because we all need them. I just love how nice the bows come out when I make it with a Bow Easy. Now, the trick that I like to use is to pull straight up. It makes a nice, crisp bow. Okay, now I can just pull that right off, and I get a nice looking bow from my Bow Easy. And then I'm just going to go ahead and cut it. Now this bow is a little tinier than the other one, and it's actually because I actually used the Bow Easy. I think the other one I decided just to make freehand, and they are just a lot harder to get to lay right. I always like to use a glue dot for my bows. I think they hold, and I sort of roll it up as I pick it up. I think the bow looks cute there, and I like this bow much better than my first bow because I think it's tinier. It doesn't overpower. So there you go. The only thing left now is my rhinestones. I'm going to put a big one right there and some smaller ones on these up here. I think there's 3 sizes, so I'm going to stay with 3. So what do you think? We need some happy in this cold, dark time of the year, so I thought this would be fun. So I'm so happy you watched today, and I thank you for taking your time to let me teach you about stamping, because this brings me joy as well. So have a great afternoon. Tomorrow is 10:30 a.m. is live video, and I've already posted what you'll need for that. And don't forget that I have Tuesday Tips, which is an Instagram function. So have a great day, and thanks again for watching.